What's up, everyone? Welcome to Now Next Never. I'm Nicole Casperson, joined by Delana Saparu and Zaid Admani. What is up, guys? Did you miss me? I'm back from Miami, and I don't have COVID, knock on wood.
Welcome back, Nicole. Yeah, we did miss you. Me and Delano were running the pick and roll, but we definitely missed you. Today, we're talking about Logan Paul. Logan Paul is launching another NFT project. Can we trust him this time? And then stock splits. Some huge companies have announced splits recently. We'll dive into what this means for you with our No Bull Guide. Right, Delano?
Yes, Zaid. And last but not least, we have CryptoWendy joining the show today. We'll talk to the crypto content creator about crypto meetups, why her content is important, and where crypto is headed. So stick with us. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Let's get into it right now.
Can you trust Logan Paul's new NFT project? So Logan Paul is launching a new NFT project called 99 Originals. Now get this, guys. The way this works is that he's going to be taking pictures with this Polaroid camera and then turning those Polaroids into an NFT. And then he's going to sell those NFTs. It's going to be selling them one at a time. So a little bit different than typical NFT projects where you have a bunch of these NFTs being sold at once. He's going to sell each Polaroid one at a time, and then the NFT is going to give you access to some additional perks and whatnot, including voting rights in his DAO that he's setting up. I guess the bigger question to me is, given Logan Paul's somewhat shady past with NFT projects, he was involved with a project called CryptoZoo, excuse me, that I participated in. What do you, Delano, I'll start with you. What do you think of Logan Paul launching this NFT project?
Yeah, Zaid, I don't know. I think there's a small number of buyers here, and we'll just talk about it in a general sense. Like, people that are super fans of Logan Paul are the people that would generally, be interested in this sort of project. And these people are, in some cases or most cases, the same people that bought into CryptoZoo, which was famously a project that didn't do so well, and people thought that was more of a cash grab on Logan Paul's part. So, do you give someone that you really, really like a second chance? That's the question you have to be asking yourself here. Me personally, I'm not a huge fan of Logan Paul. I know that he is someone that's great at content creation and someone that's done well on YouTube and different areas of social media. So I don't know. I don't think you can give someone a second chance to this, because I do think he's trying to do something different. He's making sure this project is more original and it has different, more utility to it. But Nicole, I just don't see myself as someone that's more of a casual fan of Logan Paul buying into this project.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about the guy at all, but I am trying to think about how, as fans, they're looking for new ways to interact with their favorite celebrities. And I totally understand NFTs as a great way to connect with a fan base, with an audience, and have a more, I guess, interesting or direct line of communication outside of the a gazillion other ways that we currently are able to do it. Yeah. But if I put on a different celebrity hat, someone I like, say, Doja Cat, who she had her single edition token on oneof.com, that might spark a little bit more interest for me, but I don't really see it as doing any more for me as a fan than, maybe just something interesting or cool. I guess I don't think it increases my fandom of anyone, even if I really like them and I'm like a diehard fan. I would rather see them live. I'd rather see them in person, even though I'm down for NFTs and digital assets. But yeah, I just don't see the big play here, other than maybe he's trying to make up for the part where he had a little doozy the first time around.
I mean, look, I kind of like Logan Paul. I'm not going to lie. I think what he's trying to do is somewhat interesting. You kind of have to give him credit for kind of pushing the envelope here. But this is clearly made for the super fans. And obviously I don't fit the demographic. Quick story on his first NFT launch, CryptoZoo. So I think he was promoting it, August or September of last year. And they were selling these eggs, right? And I was like, you know what? I've never done NFTs before. This was like the peak of NFT hype, right? So I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Logan Paul's involved. This guy's not going to try to scam. He's going to be involved with like legit projects. And so I was like, all right, cool. I minted 3 eggs, which was the limit. I think I dropped 0.3 ETH total, which, if you do the math now, it's a good amount of money. It's what, 0.3 ETH is, what are we talking, like $900 to $1,000 right now? And back then it was more. So obviously the project has kind of petered out a little bit. It's still active here or there, but it definitely doesn't have the same hype. And Logan Paul is not actively promoting it anymore. So I learned my lesson, but, this new project, I think he's directly involved with. He's not just partnering with the company, so maybe it'll be better. I'm trying to give the guy the benefit of the doubt here. and again, these NFTs are starting to become like ways to form a membership around a creator. So I think I've seen other creators do that. Gary Vee has his collection, get the V Friends. So I can definitely see the value there, but not for me because I'm not a super fan. So I do wonder though how much money he's gonna raise or how much money he's gonna get from this, because 99 originals, like I can imagine he's gonna make a lot of money from this.
Exactly, especially on the resales. We can see what I'm sure if he breaks it out, how much royalties he gets on every resale. That'd be really interesting to see what his pull will be on this one.
Yeah,
Totally.
Really interesting. Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about digital assets with a guest. Today, we have a chance to talk with someone who has been in the crypto space for many years. Through her YouTube show, The O Show, great name, she has become the largest and most watched female crypto content creator, breaking down the latest in crypto and NFT news. Please welcome CryptoWendyO. Kudos to you on all the success.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me. I am very excited to chat with you guys. Fingers crossed my 5-year-old does not come in.
I know, we already got a chance to say hi to her, but I mean, if she peeps in, she peeps in. Crypto, so I just want to jump into kind of the idea around crypto really just still having a bad rap, right? I mean, clearly we're us here, we understand it, we talk about it regularly, we're so involved in it, but what are some of the things that maybe you're doing with your content to change these perceptions, and why is it so important to maybe change some of the more negative perceptions around crypto? That it's like more of a bros club, that it's just a get rich quick scheme, and all of those things. I definitely think those are fundamental to moving us towards mass adoption.
Well, first off, crypto still is very much a bros club. When I look at my YouTube analytics and I get compared to other channels, it's like 15 male channels, and then there's me. So
yeah.
Part of what I do is I don't come from a tech savvy background. Like that's just not who I am. So when I first got into crypto end of 2017, I saw this in media. It was like, oh my God, there's all these dudes, there's all this tech heavy stuff, like whatever. So I just took 10 minutes out of my day and I started educating myself, because everybody's got 10 minutes. And one of the things that I started to do is started to create content, post charts, all that type of stuff. And one of the reasons why I'm still in crypto today is because there needs to be more female representation. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, crypto is a level playing field. Anybody can join and participate. Yeah, that's great. That's a great concept. That's a great idea. But at the end of the day, when I look back at certain experiences that I've been through and I talk to my dude friends about it, they didn't have to go through that. So crypto still does have its issues, but at the same time, the great thing about it is a place that anybody can get in. You can create your own communities. You can do all of this really, really great stuff because we're still technically early. As far as crypto being a scam, yeah, there's a lot of bad projects out there. There are some bad actors, but realistically, when you take a step back and you look at different industries, there's always bad actors. For example, the healthcare industry. There's bad doctors. There's bad healthcare partners. When you look at police departments, same thing. You've got really great cops and you've got really bad cops. In the real estate market, same thing. You've got really good real estate agents and really bad real estate agents. So it's about taking a step back, analyzing what's happening, and putting yourself in situations that you feel comfortable with. Don't invest in something unless you've done your research. Make sure that you're using disposable income. So there's different steps that we can take to kind of protect ourselves in that aspect.
Yeah, I love that. And thank you, by the way. I'm trying to do a similar thing when it comes to female content creation on the fintech side, broader fintech space. So appreciate the paths that you've paved here.
No, absolutely. I love that as well. When I started following you on TikTok over a year ago at this point, loved your content and your YouTube channel as well. I love your live streams breaking down the charts. As someone who also makes content, I'm just curious to know, you started making content, but then you started doing these crypto meetups. Why did you feel like these were needed? Like, what purpose do you think they serve for you?
Okay, so this is actually how it was, like kind of the chicken or the egg, what came first. I started posting content on crypto Twitter because I saw all these anonymous dudes like posting their charts. I was like, I can learn how to do that. I took trig, I took calculus, like I can do this, because it's all math backed. So I started posting my charts and people liked it. And then I was like, okay, I was very into being an entrepreneur at that time. I'm still an entrepreneur, but I went on meetup.com and I started looking at all of these different meetups. And you had to pay back in 2017 and 2018. You had to pay hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to attend these events. And I'm like, I'm poor. I have no money. Why am I paying $1,000 to listen to somebody shill a coin when this stuff should be accessible to everybody? That's what Bitcoin is. That's what crypto is. So then I hosted my first meetup. It was in a really, really small like dive bar in a very small town in our city. And there's 3 people that came. And then I just kept hosting and hosting and hosting and hosting. And then more and more people came, and like they didn't necessarily go viral, but more people got excited. So we started doing the TA meetups at Crypto Space in San Pedro once a week, free technical analysis meetups, where it was me and a group of people. We talked about, learning TA, how we're trading, how we're investing. And then we started doing all these other meetups at breweries and coffee shops, places where people could come and, pay for their own food and whatnot, because I didn't have sponsors. And I started the YouTube channel to live stream these, because my audience on Twitter is like, we want to see this stuff. So if you look at my first YouTube video, it is literally me in front of, like, all awkward in front of a camera, like, hey, I'm doing a meetup, come, like, whatever. And they caught on and people liked it. And now people across the world are doing the same thing, and I'm here for it.
Absolutely. I used to go to those meetups back in 2017, 2018. I remember I was living in Austin at the time, and those were huge. And you're right, some of them were expensive to go to. So I'm really happy that you started doing them for free and offering them to be more inclusive. So that's awesome. So I'm curious to know, you started getting involved in crypto, 2017, 2018. What do you see some trends? What did you see in the trends back then? And I'm curious to know, like, obviously crypto has grown up now, it's starting to change. Are those same trends still around? What do you see that's different now than it was before? What do you see is going to be different 2-3 years from now than it is now?
Okay, so I originally heard about Bitcoin the first time in 2011, and I dismissed it because I was like, "This stuff is weird. Like, this is weird." I wasn't, I wasn't feeling very confident. Like, I was just getting my life back together. Then in 2017, I read the Bitcoin white paper. I was like, "Okay, this makes sense." But back in 2017, the only way to make money in crypto, you had to actually trade. We didn't really have. We had master nodes, but most of those went to zero. We didn't really have DeFi that was built out. Like, all the layer 2 solutions weren't built out, so we're in like this really bizarre space. So now fast forward to 2022, we've got all these ecosystems that are built out, that are usable. And we actually have NFTs that are like fully functional. Back then you had CryptoKitties, and I don't want to say Ethereum crashed, but the CryptoKitties transactions would really clog the network up. Like, it was insane. So it wasn't that, I'm not saying Ethereum crashed, but that's kind of what it felt like. Like, sometimes you'd send it, you couldn't even use Ethereum. But now we've got all these new solutions. I personally think NFTs are going to take off, and we're going to see and one thing I'm going to tell the audience is pay attention to NFTs that are utilizing IP, intellectual property. There's a big secondary third market for that on the back end, especially in the entertainment industry. And I really feel like in the next 5 to 10 years or 2 to 3 years, we're going to see DeFi projects really get more built out. They're going to be more accessible to people. We have regulation encompassing, but also too, NFTs are going to be the key for mass adoption for everybody.
That I love that. Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely some, like, people aren't so sure how NFTs are going to go. So I'm really happy that you addressed that.
Yeah, and one question I had, Wendy, is when you've been looking at different projects, we always talk about all the time about, we're stepping back and just looking at crypto projects as a whole, projects that have performed well and some that haven't performed so well. And we're in a new space. We want to pinpoint the ones that performed well and what they did, but also the projects that haven't performed well. What are some of the biggest mistakes that you've seen in these projects and the ones that didn't really get off the ground, Wendy?
So this is the thing. When we're talking about crypto, we're talking about people that are super, super tech savvy. They're really smart in math. They're really smart in science. They're really smart in, all of that, in STEM. Well, guess what? When you are smart, when you've got a math brain, a math brain generally does not work the same way a communications brain works or an artist brain works. These things are completely different. So when you're looking at projects, you have to look at who's on the team. Do they have a person that's good at communicating? Who's their PR? Who's their marketing? Are they, like, one of the things that, because I do consulting on the back end also, one of the things I look at is the website. If I cannot figure out what the heck your project does within the first 2 minutes of reading your website, that's a big red flag. That's a problem to me, because I'm pretty tech savvy now. I'm pretty versed now. I've been in this space for a while. But when you have an average person that goes to your website and they're like, what the heck is this? What is that? That's going to be a problem. So one of the things that I like to do, I like to actually see what's the utility, who's on the team, what are they building, what are they promising? Do we need this? But another thing too is, like, it's not just on the projects, it's on the people that are investing. A lot of people will get so excited and buy into the hype, and they do not practice risk management. And that's why I practice something called a moon bag, where when I'm in profit with something, I'm taking profit out, I'm removing my initial investment. And that way, if something happens with the project and the project goes to zero, I'm okay. I'll be fine. But that's a big problem we have. It's not just the teams, but it's also the people investing, because crypto is not a get rich quick scheme. You actually have to have some sort of skills to get rich.
That makes a lot of sense. Those 2 points that you mentioned, one was, doing risk management, taking some off the table if that's part of your portfolio strategy, as well as making it plain English what your project does. That's something that I always try to look at when I'm investing, doing my due diligence, is if I can understand what the project is pretty quickly. So that makes sense. So we always like to end the show with where people can find you, Wendy. How do people stay in contact and follow what you're doing?
Thank you guys for having me. This was super, super fun. All of my handles are at CryptoWendyO, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. If somebody messages you and is like, how's your trading going? That is not me. I love y'all very much, but I don't have time to message you guys. I also have a website with a free newsletter, Wendy's White Paper. And if you guys want to contact me, you can go to the website, send an email, I'll respond, or someone from my team will respond. And just be very careful. Don't click on really weird links, and sending you all love and light.
Amazing. Oh my gosh.
Wendy.
Thank you so much, Wendy, for joining us. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
That was awesome. Want to see more Wendy's in this world. Anyway, so Shopify, Amazon, Tesla, and GameStop have all announced stock splits lately in some capacity. So to get a better understanding, welcome to the No Bull Guide. Today we're going over what is a stock split. A stock split happens when a company increases its number of outstanding shares to boost the stock's liquidity. It is exactly how it sounds. A company takes its available shares and splits them into 1, 2, or 3, and the number of shares you own increases, but the price of the stock decreases, so the total value of your investment actually stays the same. A stock split is a way for companies to change the per share price without changing market cap. So why do companies do this? Public companies implement a stock split after the share price has exhibited some significant growth, and reducing the trading price into a more comfortable range will make their stock look a bit more attractive from a per share price and encourage investors to buy it. But why don't some companies do this?
Yes, Nicole. Some companies don't do stock splits because there has been studies shown that stock splits tend to attract, retail investors, and investors are looking for smaller amounts when it comes to their stock purchases. So some management doesn't want that. Even though we have fractional ownership, some people miss out on that. But management also likes to sometimes have a higher stock price because it could tend to act as a barrier for entry for retail investors and day traders who look for that volatility at some point. So what are some common misconceptions about stock split? We've talked about this before, but unit bias is very much the thing. Investors looking to own one or a whole of something rather than using the fractional ownership that they could do on some platforms like our presenting sponsor, eToro. And there's also that misconception that stock splits economically change the value of the company, which we know is not true. Zaid, what are some ways that the investors could be hurt or helped potentially by stock splits?
Yeah, so the NASDAQ did a research and they said that just by announcing a stock split, the company's stock increases on average by 2.5% just by announcing it. Yeah. And also, if you track that, the average stock of a company that announces a stock split will outperform the market by 5% within 1 year. So as an investor, if you own a company that announces a stock split, there's a chance that, based on this research, that you might see good performance from your stock. The downside is a lot of people might not understand that a stock split doesn't increase the price or the value of a company just because the stock price itself changes. So just do your research to understand that you're not changing the value of the company, you're just increasing the number of shares. But besides that, generally there seems to be positive outlooks when it comes to being an investor in a company that owns a company that is announcing a stock split. And then one of the questions that I always had was why do we need stock splits now when we have the ability to buy partial shares, right? A lot of companies allow partial ownership. Like you mentioned, Delano, our presenting sponsor, eToro, allows that. To me, stock splits are like a psychological play, right? We humans are just kind of wired to, when we see a lower price tag, it just becomes more attractive to us. So when people see a lower price tag for a stock, they are more likely to buy it, even though, again, like I mentioned, the value of that company doesn't change. The underlying market cap of the company doesn't change, but we're just more likely to buy that stock. So I think it's more of a psychological thing, and that's why companies continue to announce stock splits. Nicole, you mentioned a bunch of companies at the start of this program. So that's why I think we're going to continue seeing further stock splits down the line as more and more companies see as an attractive way to boost their stock price.
Yep.
Really interesting. Well, moving on to Now Next Never.
Yes, happening right now. Guys, did we find the next app that is gonna be like TikTok? BeReal is an anti-influencer social media app that's gaining popularity among the college crowd. So once a day, you get notified to post a pic of whatever you're doing within 2 minutes. If you missed that window, the app is gonna show how late you missed it by, and it's gonna show how many attempts you took to take and post a picture. I think this is cool because what we're seeing is kind of the anti-influencer, highly curated, social feeds we see on other platforms. This BeReal platform is taking it back to the basics. You have maybe a smaller friends list which you post in, and it's gaining a lot of popularity. It's gaining a lot of college steam across a younger crowd. It's really interesting. It's happening right now.
Taco Bell is bringing back a classic item. I'm talking about their Mexican pizza. It's coming back for good this time, starting May 19th. I don't know why they took it off the menu in the first place, but now those 2 a.m. Saturday night meals are about to get so much better.
Oh my gosh. There's a disease causing the price of eggs to surge, but it's not what you think. The price of eggs has soared in recent weeks, in part because of a huge bird flu wave that has infected nearly 27 million chickens and turkeys in the United States, across 27 states. And that is according to reports by the Washington Post. The average price for a dozen large eggs in November was around $1. Now it's up to $2.95 per the USDA. That's kind of crazy. Never thought that was gonna happen.
Yeah, that's rough. That's so a lot of eggs. That's rough.
First an avocado shortage, and now inflation in eggs, guys. My breakfast is looking grim.
Oh, I know. Breakfast budget. Already blowing my breakfast budget.
Blowing the breakfast budget. That's the next segment. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in on this Monday. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
We out.
Remember to like and subscribe, and be sure to hit that notification bell. See you tomorrow.